Hello everybody. Today we're going to talk about CMYK and RGB. These are two color spectrums that we commonly see in everyday materials, and it's important to kind of know these principles. This is one of the things that all designers should know is the difference between RGB and CMYK, when to use it, when not to use it, and the purpose. So first, we're going to look at RGB, and RGB stands for red, green, and blue. These are known as what's called additive colors. It's actually a projection of colors. This is how we commonly refer to as RGB, and RGB can be found in all cameras, computers, phones, iPods, TVs, laptops, the navigation system on your car, the back of the plane where you have the entertainment system, anything that has a display, a display projecting light, and CMYK is known as cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. They're known as subtractive colors. If you were, and this is commonly referred to as CMYK, and if you're working with like pigments of color, which we'll talk about in just a moment, if you take all the colors away, you have nothing. If you add all the colors, you get, a full color or black. CMYK, also known as process color or four color, is commonly found within the commercial printing industry. So anything that you have printed, such as textbooks, magazines, newspapers, flyers, posters, those are commonly printed in a CMYK. It's using ink in combination with each other to make all the colors that you see on a printed document. This is what a four-color press looks like. And this is what any magazine, newspaper, textbook, books are printed on before you receive it. This machine back here has 5 rollers. So this would be 4 colors, so 1, 2, 3, 4 CMYK, and then the 5th one is sometimes added for like a varnish or a specialty color or something that's not within the CMYK spectrum. And these machines are about, it ranges anywhere between about 30 to 40 inches long. Usually the biggest one's about 40 inches wide. And it's called offset because of the fact that when they're printing this, each of these machines has a different color and they have a different plate. This is the plate. The plate is an image of that particular color. And then it goes through the rollers, and the top roller here is the paper, and the bottom is the plate. So every time the paper and the plate meet together, they drop off ink onto the paper from the roller. And you can see here it's right reading, and the plate is backwards reading. And so basically what you see in reality on that piece of paper is 4 colors, the cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and it's the colors for each image laid on top of each other, and then what you see is actually the full color of the document. To get a general idea of this is that, so here's the cyan, magenta, yellow, black again, cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and then what's printed on there is these dots, and the dots are in various sizes. You can see here the magenta dots are different between here and here, but if you work across the row here, this is what color you would see within this dot combination. And then if you make the dots smaller on one color and larger on the magenta, you get this pinkish color. And if the larger the black dots means the color is going to be darker, and the smaller of the black is going to mean it's going to be lighter, more of a tint. So basically, what you're looking at is every printed document is going to be a series of dots, and if you were to take a magnifying glass and look up really close to it, you would see the dot pattern. This dot pattern here is around the eye, because here's the eye right here, the blackness of the eye right here, and then the color of the orange depending on the combination between the cyan or the magenta and the yellow. Sorry. Um, you would get these different colors and you get a different range of the skin tones. So in many ways, this is a way of saving ink for the printers. Other printing devices, such as for photography, it's a continuous tone, whereas CMYK, it's a dotted tone. But these two colors work together actually, because ultimately, there's a counterpart to each color. So yellow is to blue, as magenta is to green, and cyan is to red. And when you start working within Photoshop or within InDesign or any other of the applications, knowing which these colors, if you were to take away green, you're going to get more magenta. If you add more red, you're going to get more red, and you're going to get less cyan. And then if you go, more yellow, you get less blue. So they move across depending on which way you're going to make the effect on the opposite color. The working guidelines for working in the creative industry is always know your outcome first, and then that guides you on what materials or how to set up your documents. So if you're going to work in anything with electronic delivery, such as tablets, projection screens, LCD screens, or TV at home, that's going to be working within an RGB format. And then if you're working with printing materials, it's going to be printed in the end. That's going to be a CMYK. InDesign automatically starts off in a CMYK, so does Illustrator, and then RGB is already starting off in Photoshop. So those two already kind of dictate which way you're going to go. Oftentimes, if you're working in InDesign or Illustrator, you can always work in CMYK first and then convert to an RGB format at the end, but you're going to come up with some surprises because the numbers or the colors don't actually match each other, because one device is using light in combination of 3 different colors to make the image on the screen, as opposed to the print. It's using pigments and ink and dots to actually make the color that you see. That's an illusion of color. So the numbers don't, the colors don't always match up. So if you like this particular red, it actually might be converted and looks much differently from one medium to the other. But always kind of know what you're working in first. If you're going to work in RGB for an electronic delivery, but you're working in Illustrator, InDesign, you can always convert the color panel to represent those colors. But otherwise, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And again, just know the combinations between RGB and CMYK and which way they're going to be used. Thanks.